So once I've introduced the magic E concept, I will give my students a bunch of these words, these look-alike words, and I'll have them sort them, not read them. They're sorting them first. So they're going to sort them based on the syllable type. So they're going to put all the VCE syllable types here, okay, and all the closed syllable types here. So what I mean by closed is there's going to be a short vowel sound. Closed is just when there's a consonant blocking the vowel. So it's like squishing it in. I like to teach my students this, a closed syllable. And that's why I says eh. It makes a short sound in a closed syllable, and a brev symbolizes a short sound. Okay, then this is a VCE syllable type, which just means that the E is making the vowel say its long sound. And that's why I have this macron, because it's the long sound. So in this case, it's going to be I. So, oh, good job sorting, but now I want you to sort them into look-alike words. Okay, so then brev above the short I. So they're coding these words. Okay, so see how the brev is there for a bit. Remember the short and say dim. Code type that we cross off the E because the E is silent. Already introduced the VCE syllable type that we have to put the long macron symbol. So then I would have my students go like this, b, I, t. So cross off the E, the line for the macron, and then I have them go b, I, t. So physically getting them to draw that line to the E helps their brain know, oh my gosh, that E is there, so it can't say I, it's going to say I, and having them see these look-alike words really helps them to see the difference. Bit, bite, and if you have kids that are really struggling, especially our students with dyslexia, they're gonna need a lot of practice with this. You might actually have to get them to do this before they even read these words and go, I. So they're warming up, and then you can say to them before they even read this word, what is that I going to say? I. Good, Kate, let's go. Bite. All right? And so they'll do the same thing with dime. Cross off the E because it's silent. It makes no sound. And then put a macron above the I because it's saying I. And I always get my students to do this. I, because it helps them know that's a long sound and the symbol is the long line. Okay, so then they would just continue doing that with the rest, coding and reading. I'm, ite, I'm. Then I would actually turn it into a game. Okay, so I would flip this over and we'd play memory. So I'm gonna mix them up, but for memory, they have to find a pair, and this is the pair. And the kicker is they have to read it correctly. If they don't read it correctly, then they don't get to keep the pair. What to say is that when they are reading these words, and there's a magic E, they have to poke the E first. Why am I doing that? Because it's making their brain say, hey, there's an E there, the I is going to say I. So they have to poke the E before they read it. So I'll model that again. Okay, pull this one over. Dim, poke the E, dime, just a signal to their brain that this is the long I sound. Great, they get to keep that pair, then they get to go again. Okay, so that's a game of memory that I play with my students, and it's just a nice way to reuse the words that they've already sorted, so you're not having to make a ton of